my name is Jasmine Jones, and I am a licensed clinical social worker. And you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing Abbott Elementary, Episode 7, Winter Show, and Episode 8, Winter Break. And we are sipping on Kahlua, cream de cacao, and oat milk. How you doing? Okay, so they hit us with a double, and then we gonna get like a few weeks off for Christmas. So I'll probably throw some other stuff in there for the few weeks off for Christmas. And yeah, so these are cute little episodes, and it kind of showed us a little bit of backstory with Jacob. So Jacob is like kind of front and center in the first episode, and also Barbara. And we got to see Lil Shamarmar come back to, do the tech stuff, and I don't understand. I don't know what's going on, because Ava got a picture of that nigga on her desk, but then they keep fanning this Shamarmar looking nigga in our face. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyways, so let's start with Barbara. She's trying to do everybody trying to do Christmas show, right? And Janine was gonna do Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC, and I really wanted to see them little children step to that song. I really did. But then I was just like, you gotta be like open for the other people. And I had to figure it out, because I was just like, well, when I was a kid, we would just do all the winter holidays and shit, and we would have kids just dressing up as each winter holiday, and then like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and this could have been an opportunity to research like a winter thing that Muslims do during the winter, because I googled it, and it was some stuff that they be doing for winter solstice and shit. This could have been, and then we could have still got them stepping to Christmas and Hollis, but I guess because it was last minute. But anyway, so they was gonna do that, and Janine had them all prepared. But then this little baby, she's Muslim, right? And she couldn't be on stage because Christmas isn't her holiday. And so like Barbara's like, okay, I understand. But then she sees these kids making fun of her because kids are mean and they just be saying shit. And then she's realizing like, no, this needs to be inclusive for everybody. So she tells them that they have to make it inclusive for everybody last minute, a few days before the play. So I feel like you could have had the babies dress up as different holidays like we did when we was kids, and that would have been fine. But whatever, girl. Like, you could have had some paper mache. They already had made the hats and shit. You should have put each hat could have been a different holiday, and they could have, whatever. I just wanted to see the little babies do the step to Christmas and holidays and whatever. It still would have been inclusive, but whatever. I get it. And so they figured it out, and last minute Barbara was going to sing the song, and the kids were just going to stand up there and not do anything while the older kids stepped. And I'm glad they figured that out, because I was just like, so the babies don't get to sing, they just have to stand there with their little hats on and watch. Just be happy you're on stage. I was like, okay. So anyways, like, the babies wrote their own song that they wanted to sing, but Barbara didn't like it because it had something to do with farting, and hot chocolate makes us fart, and you know how kids be about flatulence and shit. So like, she decided that she just gonna sing the song that she rewrote that's like inclusive for everybody. She gets up on stage, she loses her voice, she can't sing, and so they, here come Janine X he just beat in places, and so he just tell the kids to sing the song that they wrote as they should have in the beginning, because it's kids, they're gonna put some shit in there that's gonna sound weird, but it'll make sense, and let the steppers step to that. And so that's what they did, and it was a cute little show, and the parents liked it, and Barbara just learned a lesson that that it don't matter, as long as the kids is having fun, the parents will have fun. These parents do not expect a Broadway performance from these children. They just want to have something to record for memory's sake, to keep and hold to themselves. Like, remember when you was 5 and you did this little song on stage about farting, so they can show you when you're 18 and embarrass you in front of your first partner and shit. So anyways, Jacob's brother is coming to town, and it's his little brother, and I just feel like Connor's brother's more likable because he's not a people pleaser. He just lives more in his own self, so he's not as annoying as Jacob. And he respects people's boundaries. Like when he was talking to Gregory and he was like, well, let me not hold you. You know, I don't want to be like, you know, like holding you up with small talk and shit. And Greg was like, well, thank you. So I felt that in my spirit. I did. I was just like, no, I hate small talk. I hate small talk and I hate people. I don't hate it, but it's like, I don't know how to respond to like small talk. Like, how do I expand on this conversation? Like, do you want me to expand on the conversation? You gonna ask me questions about myself? You want me to ask you questions about yourself? Like, I don't feel like asking questions about you. If you ain't trying to talk to me about nothing and bringing up a topic that I'm interested in, I'm not going to go further in this conversation. And it's not because I don't like you. It's just because most of the time I don't feel like talking. No, people talk to me like they come up and they make statements like, oh, I like your shirt. I like your this. I like your, oh, you're so pretty. And I'll just be like, thank you. And then I go about my day. I don't know what else to say after that. Because, like, I didn't even really feel like talking anyways. And you ain't, like, if you came up to me and was like, oh, you like Dragon, Demon Slayer? That's my favorite character. What's your favorite character? Then we could chop it up. Let's chop it up and shit. Like, but you like, oh, I like your shirt. And I'll be like, oh, thank you. And then I just walk away. Like, I don't know. What else do you want me to, it's a statement. Niggas don't be coming up to you trying to chop it up. They don't be asking you questions about yourself, what you doing, nothing, like what you interested in, having a full conversation. They just come up to you and make a statement, like just people in general. And then they just like, I just be like looking at them like, okay. I appreciate the compliment, but I don't know, like, am I supposed to go further? How am I? And I used to like be like, oh, thank you. I got this from such and such. And then like, as soon as I would start talking and trying to ask them questions, they just get that lost look in their eyes. Like they didn't want to keep talking to me. So I got tired of that shit. And I don't ask people when they make a statement, I just say, thank you. Cause I would just go on and they would just be like, huh. And then all of a sudden their attention is something I don't feel like it. So I felt that in my spirit. I was just like, thank you so much. Don't do that. Don't hold people up with small talk when they just like, you're not holding a real conversation. And so like, I liked his brother up to a certain extent because he keep using black vernacular and that shit was irritating the shit out of me. I was just like, and then he's using it in these weird ass surfer nigga ways, like how Valley niggas be talking out here in Southern California and shit. So he's throwing in a bro with a fire, and I'm just like, I didn't like that about him, but I can say that he's more likable than Jacob because Jacob be trying to get people. He don't know himself. Jacob don't fucking know himself, and that's why he's annoying because he tries to be caricatures and shit, and it's annoying. And then because he's such a people pleaser, like he could throw you under the bus. He's gossipy. He be telling people shit. And I just feel like he could throw you under the bus, like for whatever reason, like just like in that episode in like the first and second season when he was hanging out with them other people from the rich school, and he was really feeling it until they had to really say some racist type shit for him to get that these were not the folks to be hanging out with. Like when black people probably would have known that shit off the top. But anyways. And then, so like his brother comes to school and he's I guess his parents. So what some toxic parents do is that they will triangulate their children. So they'll have like the golden child in the house. That's the exemplary child. That's the child every other sibling needs to look up to and shit like that. And then they'll have the scapegoat child. And that's the child that every problem in the house is this child's fault. Even if it's the adult's problems, it's the child's fault for some reason. And so it sounded like he lived in a light version of that. Like it doesn't sound like it was super extreme, but it was extreme enough to make him a people pleaser. And so, like, he always blamed the brother for the brother being able to get attention when the brother was just being himself. He even said it when he did the little podcast. He was just like, I looked up to my older brother, and he was really, really smart. And so I thought I just put my brains into muscle. And so he did sports, and he did what he was good at. But because his parents praised him so much, like, Jacob just felt like shit about it. But of course, children and people in general don't want to blame the actual abuser. They want to blame the victim. And be like, oh no, you're causing our this person to do this to you or treat you this way for whatever reason. And so obviously and I'm just like, So anyways, this whole time he's feeling this way and his brother's just acting regular. He's a talkative person. He knows how to interact with people. He's not necessarily anxious about interacting with people. He's not necessarily concerned about what other people think about him or how he interacts with people. And Jacob is seeing this through his lens of, oh, look at him trying to take all my friends. And it's just okay. So anyways, he ends up doing one of the kids' podcast shows and he's talking about how he loves his brother, but Jacob walks in on the part where he's telling them how he went to prom by himself, and so he thinks he's making fun of him. And so Gregory talks to Jacob and shows him the thing and says, look, this is what your brother was talking about. And then they squash it. They go and they squash it in one little conversation. I get just like when Janine's sister came, but I don't think her and her sister squashed it though. They need to recap that and bring that back. And Mr. Johnson trolling around school I feel like he's turning into this like narrator observer character that just is like observing how these people be acting and shit. Because in the last episode and stuff, he was like observing with his little kid that was following him around trying to like be his little apprentice and shit for the day and stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, I like how they did. And I liked in the second episode when he was like, he reminded me of, the narrator on what is it, Frosty the Snowman. And he was the mailman. And in the beginning of Frosty the Snowman, he would be in the beginning telling the story of Frosty the Snowman. That's what Mr. Johnson's character is making me think of. And then I love a man with long hair, and Gregory's hair was so pretty. You can just shut up, bitch. It was curly and shiny, and they didn't give me Run DMC, and then they had him cut his hair. They had Dr. Facilier cut his fucking hair at the end. Upsetting it was. I love a man with long hair. I don't know what it is, especially black men with long hair, and it's all curly and yankable and shit. It was pretty. I mean, I like a fade and shit, but and it's out and free and just natural and shit. And it was magical. That was a good part of the episode for me. I don't know what y'all. I loved it. Anyways, Gregory goes and gets his hair cut at the end, and we find out that the barber is Ava's dad. But Ava has said she didn't have no family in Philly, so he's like, what the fuck? So then we go into the next episode. So Gregory and Janine are having a little first Christmas Eve, and I don't know why they invited people to it, because they didn't want to invite people to it. I don't know. But they having a little first Christmas Eve, and then Melissa, Barbara, and Jacob, and what's his name, Connor, they're all setting up for Melissa's little family get together, and they're like Italian, and she got this whole cultural thing where the food need to be. I'm just gonna chalk all that emotionally abusive rhetoric that they're spewing at each other up to sometimes. Niggas and families, they just be roasting each other, and that don't mean they don't love each other, and that don't mean that they are traumatizing each other. That's just how they talk to each other. Every time you roast somebody, that don't mean that you're abusive, and it doesn't mean that it depends on how the person takes it, and it depends on your intentions. And I don't think their intention was to, but then they had that whole thing between the sisters and shit, and so for a long time they didn't like each other. So I feel like it's half and half. I think we normalize trauma into culture and say that shit like that is normal, but then on the other half, I still feel like it affects us because talking shit to somebody is still gonna make them feel a type of way. And just because that person decides to cover it up with, oh, it's just a joke, doesn't mean that your nervous system is covering it up like it's just a joke and you still ain't traumatized. You just acting like, because she frantically trying to make this meal to the point where her uncle dies upstairs, and she just like, no, I need to make this meal so my family will love me and shit. And I'm just like, okay, girl. But then also I think on top of that, Barbara and Melissa are older and they've been through a lot more shit. So I got that energy of back in Sutton, and my uncle died upstairs and it wasn't that big a deal. Chill the fuck out. And he's also racist and homophobic. I felt like they had to put him in there though, because they're going to a house with a bunch of white people. And we don't live in Fantasyland where, like every white person in that house is on the up and up. No, they had to show like, no, there's gonna be a racist if you go to a house full of white people. But they handled it well. They sent the uncle upstairs, so it is what it is. And then Gregory and Janine are sitting at their house, and here come Father Johnson. He's just delivering presents to people's houses. I'm just like, okay, nigga, what? And then here comes Ava. So Ava comes to their house and she just intruding and doing all this extra shit. Come to find out, she just feels lonely. She ain't got no family in Philly. She by herself. And so we're getting to a place where I think the picture of her, that nigga on the desk, is wishful thinking. Like, we still keeping pictures of our exes just hanging around because we wish and we hope and we dream. No, because why she ain't with that nigga? Like, so Shamar Mar has a chance, okay? That's his name. I heard you talking about Shamar Mar. He's a young version of that nigga. So she's intruding and obviously not reading the room, because every room Ava walks into, she is the leader and the queen of the space. And I dig that so fucking much, but I don't dig it enough to where I'm going to intrude. I'm just going to let my presence and my aura tell people that I'm the queen of the space, and then you'll just be drawn to me. I don't have to do shit. I don't have to intrude on your conversations and what you're doing. You just gonna know I'm in the room just because I'm in the room. And my aura, you can feel it when my energy. That's what my energy is getting your attention, and so I don't care. So Janine gets annoyed. She wants Gregory to ask, whatchamacallit, to leave. And I'm just like, well, I mean, the nigga already put on the pajamas, girl. You can grow some balls. And the only reason you grew some ovaries and was saying, oh, well, I'm going to ask her to leave you because she told Gregory something that was in confidence, and Janine got mad that Gregory didn't want to tell her and shit. And I felt it, though. Like, I felt that Gregory didn't want to tell her. I felt that was respectful, because, yes, you can tell your partner things, but sometimes you need to have boundaries when other people don't want you sharing stuff with people. Gregory ain't cheating on you, honey. Like, I don't even think I think she's just mad at the fact that they had secrets. Like, I don't even think cheating crossed her mind. I think we're supposed to be like this. Girl, shut up. She told him a secret in confidence because you be doing too much, and so that should be a sign to you to be like, maybe I shouldn't be doing so much. But who knows, next season she probably is gonna try to get her and her dad to communicate and shit like that. And no, bitch, like, you should already know you got a mama that you barely want to see and shit, and like, you don't see, and so you should already know that's a choice that an individual needs to make. Not, oh, let me get them to be that. No, girl, no. So anyways, Ava overhears them arguing, and then she's like, let me go tell her what's going on. I got this nigga in trouble because he's too honest and shit. He's too honest and loyal and shit. I know the fuck he is. I wish they hadn't cut his hair. It was so pretty and curly, and then he had the little line up on the sides, and I was just like, look at it, gorgeous. Anyways, so she goes and tells Janine, and Janine's like, oh, we're your work family, and da-da-da-da. And Ava the type that she can't handle, like, the mushy stuff. Like, some shit done happened in her life where mushy stuff makes her feel cringy. But that don't mean that she can't get used to it over time, over a long period of time, because I'm like that. Like, mushy stuff, I don't know what to do with that. I don't want it, but literally, like, I just feel like if I get too comfortable, this shit's gonna stop, and then I'm not gonna know that it's about to stop, and then I'm just gonna be out of the blue, rugs pulled out from under me. So it's like, it's weird. I don't know what to do with that, but I would be open to experiencing and getting used to and all this other stuff. So Ava is, she one of them folks, because some shit happened to her. I don't know what it was, like her mama got some shit going on, so there you go. And she's disconnected from her dad, so she ain't got no family near her and shit. And I really resonate with her character. I just be like, "Yeah, look at this. Look at she just be going through some stuff, and she just got this facade of happy go lucky. I'ma go get it, bitch. And it's just like them the type of bitches that don't nobody be paying attention to the hurt that's underneath and shit. And I just be like, I know, girl. I know you hurting, bitch. Let Shamar Mara give you some good dick and you be fine. I know. Dick doesn't heal all, but it helps. It does. Anyways. So Ava decides to leave and go on this party bus, and then Gregory and Janine had the rest of their evening and stuff. And then back over at Melissa's house, her family loves the food. Her mom gave her a little backhanded compliment, which was the best compliment she ever had from her, so she took it. And then like they had went upstairs, the two brothers, and this nigga don't know how to check a pulse because the uncle wasn't there. This nigga sat up here and felt this motherfucker's forehead and said there was no pulse. Oh my god. The fireman that she had told not to come to the dinner came because he had earlier Jacob had pressed a little life alert thing that's on. They call it a death alert. I'm tired. They pressed a little life alert thing, and I was thinking too, maybe they couldn't let them step to whatchamacallit because they couldn't get the full rights to the song or some stupid shit. I don't know. It's Disney though. Like, why you can't get the full to let them kids step to that or whatever, nigga? You played the Wild Wild West. Leave me alone. Anyways, so like Uncle's alive, everybody leaves, and one of Melissa's cousins throws up all over Jacob's bed, and that's the end of the two shows. Like these are cute little shows, and you can break apart these characters and why they act the way they act, and then you can kind of see like, oh, this makes sense. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. I don't know. Like, I just feel like I like doing this. I like looking at these characters and being like, why are they acting the way they act? And I like that we got a little bit more into Jacob. Like, I don't like him more or anything, but like I understand. I understand why he's the way he is. And what I've learned about white folks is they literally will, the shit that they do to minorities and people of color and black people and all the people that are different from them, they do to themselves first. They treat themselves that way first. And they bully their kids, like the really toxic ones that are stuck in that toxic white supremacy mindset. They bully their kids, and then some kids turn out okay and they come out of it and they get away from them people and become decent human beings. And some kids just double down on the white supremacy and treat other people like that. And so it makes sense that Jacob is the way he is. But like I keep saying since the first episode of season, why aren't they in therapy? Why is no one mentioning therapy? Like, why is no one talking about, hey, all y'all need to see a therapist? Like, do y'all think that therapy would help them heal too fast? They went to therapy in Euphoria. I mean, like the white girl did, but I don't think Zendaya's character, she went to therapy and rehab. She didn't go to therapy, like individual therapy outside of rehab. Everybody needs to go to therapy with a trauma-based therapist and do EMDR, brain spotting, or some other somatic intervention to heal from the shit that they've been through so they can move on with life. Because Jacob's annoying the fucking shit out of me. I don't care if I can understand it. I understand it, but it's like you keep choosing to be this way. When you're grown enough and away from them people enough and on your own to be able to choose a different path, and you're not choosing a different path, and that's why you fucking annoy the shit out of me, because you're not choosing a different path. I don't care what you're talking about. Anyways, that was my review for Abbott Elementary season 4 episodes 7 and 8. Let me know what you thought. Later days.